Now, this video is mainly going to be about the Retro Duo, the Super Nintendo NES game playing console. But first, I got a request to, how do you fix a Sega Genesis if there's no power and not playing a game? Uh, there's two main reasons why that would happen. Is for the no power problem, there is inside where you plug the power cord in, there are two spots where you get cold solder. And just need to resolder those points and you should get power again. If that doesn't work, then look, check the capacitors, and if that still doesn't work, you might have a chip that's blown, and for fixing that, it's really not worth it. Might as well just buy a new Sega Genesis. But for the game not playing problem, check the cartridge slot, check the pins, make sure all the pins are aligned perfectly. If they're not aligned right, you might need to bend one out or two. Try cleaning it. If cleaning it doesn't work, try to get a credit card and wrap sandpaper around the credit card and stick that in the cartridge slot a couple times. And that should work. Yeah, enough of that. I'm going to show off my Retro Duo that I have. Now, first things first, let me grab it. I have some other stuff I need to grab. Okay. Right here on my bed is the Retro Duo system. Now, the Retro Duo plays Super Nintendo and NES games. First things first, I think this was worth buying. I think it was. It's pretty sleek and thin. Mine's a little dusty. I haven't played it for a while. People always think, well, do you play both of them at once? Well, no, I don't know why you'd say that, but you have a reset button here, which is pretty sturdy. You flip it up for 8-bit and flip it down for 16-bit, and in the middle, it is in the off position. There's two LEDs right here. The left one is 8-bit, which I think lights up green, and the right one is 16, or the left one's 8-bit, the right one's 16-bit, and I think the right one lights up green. I don't know. They light up different colors, I know that. Now, they come in different colors. They come in white and blue and gray or something like that. I got the cool looking one, the red one. And it's pretty thin. It's a lot smaller. It's maybe a little smaller than the NES 2. But I think this is kind of nicer. I have a Super Nintendo because I gotta have the original. But this is kind of nice for someone that has an HD TV because it does have the composite, the red, white, and yellow, and S-Video, which does make a difference. I wouldn't say bumps it up to 480p, but it does clear it up quite a bit. It clears up the static and stuff on an HD TV. It takes a 5-volt power cord, which does come with the system. Now, you can use the controller that they give you, which isn't bad at all. I like it, but when you first get it, there's a massive problem with the D-pad. It is very stiff. Like, no joke stiff, this thing. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but yeah, it is very stiff. And you got your typical shoulder buttons, start and select, A, B, Y, X, and your directional pad. Now, what I like about this system is, you know how some knockoffs you have to use their controller? Now, here's a Retro Duo plug, and here is a standard Super Nintendo plug. They are the exact same plug. You can plug an old Super Nintendo controller into the Retro Duo and use the Super Nintendo controller. Because my D-pad is really broken in and really nice and responsive. Now, for NES games, I have modded NES controllers because the pins for an NES you can line up inside here and actually use an original for a Super Nintendo. But some games, if it uses 4 buttons, you cannot use the NES. But for the NES games on a Retro Duo, then you can use it. Now, I would recommend doing that if you have an extra couple light guns laying around to do the mod. There is a mod video on YouTube. If I'll try to find the link and put it up. A guy mods his NES light gun for the Retro Duo, and it works pretty good. And I wouldn't mind doing it. I've never done it for a light gun. I've done it for a controller, and it worked. So I wouldn't mind doing that. Another thing is the audio was kind of off on the NES because back in 1985, they didn't have stereo for the NES. They had only mono. So when they spliced it into stereo for the Retro Duo, it does sound kind of funny and it takes some getting used to, but it's not that big of a deal. Now these run anywhere from $35 to $60 depending on what you get and if it's brand new or used or has any games that come with it. I got mine used from a guy, and it didn't have any audio video cables, which I didn't really care about. Yeah, well, whoop-de-doo, just go to Radio Shack and spend $2 and get some S-video cables. So that's about it. That's all I really wanted to show, and the Sega Genesis fixing. Now, if your NES is having problems, there is the 72-pin connector might need to be replaced inside of it. I will do a full repair review later on. I wanted to do a really quick review. This is, I'm making a two-part series. This is part 1. I will do another review on one of Yobo's game systems, but this is Retro Duo first. So this is part 1, and if you like it, I guess click on part 2. Alright, see you guys later.